One of the aspects of having teachers and coaches is the way they touch people's lives. Just a number here for you, and I'm sure Bob would appreciate this as a statistics teacher. We've now had in 49 years 8,800 graduates. Based on Bob's teaching experience now in his 41st year, he has taught over 6,250 students at Brother Rice. Unbelievable accomplishment, a guy who has touched a tremendous number of lives. One of the lives he touched is going to speak about him this evening for a few minutes. It's not on the program. We're happy to have with us tonight Brother Mike Seglich, who taught here at Brother Rice for a number of years during the 1970s, who coached track with Bob Stark. I asked him to come and speak a little bit, and Brother Seglich is here with us this evening.
You might have noticed in that tape that the one person Bob didn't speak about was himself. That's the type of person he is. Those of you who know him, and most of you know him well, he's taught over 6,000 students here at Brother Rice. You realize that Bob has kind of a reputation as a cut-up, maybe to put it very nicely. But there's a heart of gold there. I was privileged when I came here to be told that I was going to be a track coach, which was a big surprise to me. But Brother Morrison, the principal at the time, and you I'm sure remember him, he said, "You know anything about track?" I said, "I watch the Olympics every 4 years." He said, "That's enough." And I ended up being introduced to two very fine gentlemen, Mike Popson and Bob Stark. If you listen to the baseball playoffs, they're running an ad, a promo by Derek Jeter, where he talks about his parents teaching him to keep his eye on the ball, to always play hard, so on and so forth. And at the end of the promo, he says, "And all the time I thought they were teaching me about baseball. And instead they were teaching me about life." And that's what these men here that are all being honored tonight, that's what they've spoken about. And Bob is certainly in that category. I know one act of kindness I learned about recently that he partook in to help someone who needed to see someone who was in distress. And Bob gave of his own resources to make sure those people were able to contact that person who was a Brother Rice grad. This past summer I was visiting here, and he and I went and visited a Brother Rice student, a former track performer for us, a track star actually, who's in prison. And we went and visited him and just tried to give a little solace there for a few moments. And whenever you're with Bob, you have a friend for life. He's been here for 49 years. He knows the history of Brother Rice High School, and he is Brother Rice High School. One act of kindness that I thought of as I was standing there waiting to come up here, late in my career at Brother Rice, I was here for 9 years, and near the end of that I became a recreational jogger. And I entered a Birmingham race in the middle of the summer. I think it was 1979 or 80, a 5K. And Bob brought the whole cross-country team out to cheer me on here at the end. And if you've ever seen me run, and some of you have, Coach Lacoste remembers it fondly, you would know that I really needed some cheering on at that point. But that's the type of person Bob is. And I'll never forget one time speaking to his team about a warm down after an exercise and giving a whole lesson on lactic acid, which I still remember to this day, and I had no idea what that was up until that time. So he's a very fine coach. The reputation, the respect he has among his peers, many of whom are still coaching with him in the area, whether they be rival schools or other schools. He's well known, well respected. I'm sorry you couldn't be here tonight, and I'm flattered and honored that I can speak and say a few words on his behalf. Bob Stark's a good friend and one that I still consider someone who I'm always able to talk with, and who taught me a lot about life, about teaching, and about coaching. Thank you.